Alright guys, welcome back. So this is going to be a real quick one. I know I say that pretty much all the time, but this genuinely is going to be really quick. And it's probably going to be the last video I put out between now and launch. So probably day after launch, a bit of a how was launch video I'd imagine is going to come, don't get me wrong. But between now and launch, I'm having the weekend off, recharge, recoup, get ready to put in some serious hours over on twitch.tv/Scottejaye87. Like the way I slid that in there. But anyway, all I want to talk about today is what I think you should do as soon as you're 70. So the things that I consider important. Some of them will be important to you, some of them won't be important to you. So for example, I mean, PvPers, you know what you're going to do. You know exactly what you're going to do when you're doing 70, so everything else is pretty much irrelevant. So this is aimed at people who want to do PvE, and it also will depend slightly on what your class is. And it's just my advice, you know, take it with a pinch of salt. But it's what the things that I'm like. If we was to say top 5 or 6 things, they're going to be the top 5 or 6 things that I'm going to focus on when I'm 70. One more quick thing as well. So I literally yesterday I've started a music channel, which if you watch me over on Twitch, you know that this has been in the makings for months. I've got about a year's worth of content. I'm currently capped, so I can't even upload anything else to that YouTube channel at the moment, not for another 24 hours, but there's going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of music on there, which is copyright free, no DMCA fear. So if you're a content creator or a Twitch streamer, or you know somebody who is, feel free to post a link to it. I'll put a link in the description below. But it's called Safe Sounds, and as I say, it's all perfectly safe if you just like chilling out. When you're studying, you want to just to chill out some lo-fi. That's pretty much all that's on there at the moment is lo-fi, but I've got drill tracks, EDM, techno, rap, R&B, literally you name it, it's going on there, because I've been working with loads of different music producers over the last couple of months, and I've got tracks, well, I've got like a 4 terabyte hard drive full with music, all copyright, like no copyright, DMCA strike free, whatever you want to call it. It's just YouTube throttling how much I can actually put on a daily basis. But as I say, check it out. Any support you can give me by subscribing over on that channel will obviously massively help me out. It's also going to be a 24/7 sort of radio stream as well. Just waiting for some server authentication stuff to come through. So then that will be up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Sorry if that took a bit too long. Let's jump in. So no flashy editing, nothing like that, not doing no funny, clever intros. It's just going to be me and you just having a conversation, or well, me having a conversation and trying to gauge what I think you're probably thinking, but that's probably not going to work either. But let's talk about the important things to do when you're 70. So there's going to be ones that are obvious, so we might as well start with the obvious one. So like the Karazhan attunement. So in tier 4 there's 3 different raids, which you probably already know, and that's what you're thinking right now. You're like, we know mate, you've done videos about this like hundreds of times, but bear with. So you've got Karazhan, Gruul, Magtheridon. Gruul and Magtheridon have got no attunement, Karazhan has. You can start the Karazhan attunement at 68. I would recommend starting it at 68, but you do need flying to finish it. Now that's as far as I'm going to take that. If you want to have a look at how to do the Karazhan attunement, there'll be a link in the description below to the Karazhan attunement video I've done, funny enough. Now we've got the real obvious one out of the way. Let's talk about reputations, because there's going to be certain reputations that you're going to want to get to revered. We're not really bothered about exalted. You're probably bothered about exalted, and that is going to be a step that we're talking about. But I just want to start with the revered dungeons first. So there's 2 in particular, which at least one person in your raid group, as in your 10-man Karazhan raid group, needs to focus on. But ideally, you all really should, because if you've got multiple raid teams, you don't know what one you're going to end up in. You might end up having a Karazhan team put together and no one can summon Nightbane, and that's what I'm talking about. That's the important one. So the 2 reputations really that you should focus on quite early is Lower City and Thralmar/Honor Hold, depending on whether you're Horde or Alliance, because part of the Nightbane attunement quest, which again I'll put a link in the description below to the Nightbane video I've done, you need a boss in each of those heroics, basically. So heroic Siphic Halls and heroic Shattered Halls. Don't worry, as soon as I say Shattered Halls, you're probably panicking, but it's not that far in. It's the first boss, in fact, so nothing to worry about there. But it's going to be important, probably to you as a guild, or to you, you know, even from a server standpoint, if you know what I mean. You know, you're not going to want to be waiting weeks while everyone else has killed Nightbane and you still haven't got an urn because you haven't got 5 people with a reputation to be able to go in. And that's what I mean. It's fine having one person focusing on getting the urn, but he's going to need 4 of you to be able to go and actually do the heroic dungeons with him. So you might as well all, as a guild, sort of focus on those 2 reputations first, so you haven't got nothing to worry about. Now, in a previous video I'd done where I was talking about, you know, 70 now what, I think is what I called it actually. I said one of the most important reps to begin with was Scenario and Expedition, with good reason, but now we've got more clarification and details around how things are being launched. It sort of goes down in the importance a little bit when it comes to attunements, because you need Slave Pen's Heroic to be able to start your tier 5 attunements, but on the basis that you've got months to worry about that, it sort of just takes it down. I'd say it takes it down below both Frailmar / On a Hold and Lower City. Outside of those two reputations, what you really want to be doing is looking at Atlas loot. I mean, I can give you a pretty good guess on, you know, some of you. So let's say if you're a druid, you probably do want Cenarian Expedition exalted very, very quickly, like I will, because I want my Earth Warden. If you're a caster, you probably want Revered with Cenarian Expedition very quickly, so you can go in and do Slave Pen's Heroic to try and get Quag's Eye. You know, there's lots of these reputations. You know, even Paladins if you want to Gavel, or, you know, whatever. The Shield from Shatar if you're a tank, specifically like Prot Warrior, Prot Paladin. You know, you need to look and understand what reputation you want to focus on first if there's a big ticket item from the exalted reputation, basically. So, but that's something I can't tell you exactly what you want, because, you know, you might be in full tier 3. The rewards from the exalted reputations might not be worth the time investment into that one. Another one might be. Do you know what I mean? So, really does come down to you as an individual. Now, this is an interesting one. I say it's an interesting one because it matters to basically all casters and pretty much all healers as well. But basically, if you're going tailoring for your sets, it's important to know what you're going to need. You might not have actually looked up exactly what you need. Now, we've got a guild sheet, which I'm taking no credit for. It was the guild that put it together, and it's brilliant, where we're tracking like who's got what cooldowns, you know, what specialization they go in, what cloth they actually need to craft their set, so we can basically funnel cloth around the guild just to get everyone's sets initially. But if you actually have a look at this sheet, I'll just bring it up. It shows you exactly what primals you need, you know, how many of each primal you need for each set. So, like, let's not focus on White Mend or Spell Strike, for example. But if we focus on Spellfire, you know, Primal Mooncloth and Frozen Shadow Weave, you can see exactly how many of everything that you're going to need. So on that basis, you know, if you haven't got a group, or you're waiting for someone, you know, if there's 4 of you in a group and you're waiting for your mate to log on who's going to tank it and he's going to be 15-20 minutes, go and work on some of these primals. Just go somewhere, you know, even if it's Primal Earth or whatever, you know, it's like primals that are not heavily contested, you know, just go and farm something in your downtime. There's really, in the first sort of month or so, I would say that there's not much reason to be stood AFK and chat. And you got to remember, let's say you're not a tailor, I'd imagine you got someone in the guild who is, and who might be a holy priest or might be a resto shaman and hasn't got the ability to kill as efficiently as you. Maybe he's not fishing, or, you know, he's not got max fishing. He shouldn't have, really. You know, I'm not making excuses for slackers, but, you know, in your downtime, help out the guild. That's what I'm basically saying. So you might, you know, want to just make a note of what exactly how many of each your sets need. I would love to share this spreadsheet, but I mean, I probably could if everyone started crying out for it. Well, I can't imagine you're going to, because you can just literally write it down, or, you know, just screen capture this video, because it's got, on the other tabs, it's got a lot of our guild stuff. So I'd rather not. But I'd say that's another important one. The power of the tailoring sets, the power of the crafted gear, you know, it's high, and you should be putting a lot of emphasis on that at basically any time you can. And then while we're on that, while we're talking about sort of primal farming for your crafted sets, I mean, primal farming in general, outside of for your crafted sets, is going to be massive. And the reason it's going to be massive is because early on, the demand for them is going to be very high. Don't get me wrong, the demand for them will be high throughout the entire expansion, but it will start to sort of drop off a little bit, as you would expect, as people start to get their crafted gear. Yeah, they'll probably want to make it on their alts and stuff like that, so it'll always have value. But that initial period, them first few weeks where all the sweaty, die-hard, try-hard, stupid, like, no life in, not sleeping, not eating, not having sex, cut, what they're doing, you know, they'll pay anything, probably. So you could, like, just be farming rather than focusing on your own gear and anything, you know, and just trying to net in loads of gold early on by sort of controlling primals, you know, trying to get as many of them as possible to sell on, and then worry about your own gear. You know, that could be your playstyle. But I thought I'd mention it, that, you know, if you're thinking, well, what do I do? Right at the start, farming primals in particular will net a lot of gold, as will Netherweb Spider Silk. If you haven't seen my video about farming Netherweb Spider Silk solo in an instance, link to that's also in the description below. Now, this is the very last point. I said this wasn't going to be long. I'm going to leave you with one more point, which I think is very important, and that is maximising the amount of badges you get per hour. Now, I don't mean as in doing skips and stuff like that. Yes, that does make it quicker, and I've even done a video about that, link in the description below. Every sentence is like, I've done a video about this. It really is just bringing all of the videos, preparation videos at 70 together, actually, into one with all the points. So, whatever. Just focus on the easier heroics first, the ones you can get through quick, the ones that have got skips, so like Slave Pens and Underbog, where you can just do like 15 minutes and you've done the instance. Slave Pens in particular has got very good loot as well for multiple classes, but you want to make sure, you know, rather than like logging on and going, right, let's try and do Shattered Halls. You know, we wiped in Shattered Halls yesterday, let's try and do it again. That's fine. I'm not saying you are going to wipe. The heroics are not that difficult. Don't be scared. I mean, they are difficult, but they're not massively difficult with a decent, you know, group who knows what they're doing. But get the ones done first that you already know how to do. Do you know what I mean? Get in, clear those, get your badges. Now you've got your farm badges. We'll call them farm badges. You got those now. Now go and work on whatever ones you haven't done or you're scared of because you think it might be difficult with the group that you've been running. You know, but always get your first ones that you know you can guarantee to get in your bag first. And again, I said it was going to be quick, and thank you for all your support throughout all of these videos. You know, as in from about a year ago when we first started, or just over a year ago when we first started. That was with just classic content. We transitioned into TBC content. We're here. We're a matter of days away from TBC, which is absolutely phenomenal. And again, I just want to thank every single one of you that's subscribed or joined the channel as a member. Like, I really do appreciate it. And everyone who comes over to twitch.tv/Scottejaye87 to come and see what I do over there as well. Like, big love, big respect. We're far ahead of where I expected us to be when TBC came. Put it this way, I'd have been happy with 10k subscribers, and we're over 20. So amazing. Thank you. Remember to check out Safe Sounds. Peace out.